Hi there, it's Karla Valenzuela, Villa Ambassador and Redken artist. Today I'm going to show you how to create a braided up style that's going to be perfect for a night out or a special event or even a bridal event. What I love about this style is that it's going to be great for longer lanes or even medium to shorter lanes. So let's get started. First, I'm going to start off by adding a little bit of volumizing mousse to the top part of it, mostly where the bang area is going to be, because I do want to add some volume. I like to start off with dry, clean hair. So every time I do a consultation, whether it's for a bridal event or a night out, whatever it is, I always like to suggest my guest coming in with clean, dry hair, because I like to put all the product in the hair. And if there's any buildup or oils or product in there, it's not as easy for me to work with the hair. So I prefer dry, clean hair. And what I'm gonna do now is start working with my Villa 9-row brush, and I'm going to scoop the hair up and blow dry to create that volume. When using this brush, I like to use the first 3 rows, and I like to hold my brush by the back of it, and I just roll the brush up and scoop. Once I'm doing that, I'm also directing my blow dryer nozzle up so that I can create volume as well as polishing the cuticle. I'm also going to be over directing so I can get maximum volume. And for the sides, I'm just going to blow dry it all the way back because this is going to be pulled back. Now that she's blown out, you can see the nice volume that she has here in the bang area. So now I'm going to get started on the style. What I'm going to do is section off her hair into 2 sections off the front. So starting from the top of the head and to the back of the ear. I'm just going to isolate these 2 sections for now. And now we're going to work on the back area. Here's a closer look on how I sectioned her. And she also has a side part with a diagonal forward split. For this back area, I'm going to create a braid, but I'm going to gather the braid with ponytails. So I'm going to start off by sectioning a 1-inch section, and this is going to be my first ponytail. I'm just going to clip this out of the way, and I'm going to use clear elastics. So you want to use clear elastics or elastics that are close to the color of the hair that you're working with. I'm just going to spray a little bit of spray wax to get this really smooth. Now I'm using my elastic and just secure a ponytail right in the center. I'm going to repeat and gather another ponytail, making sure that everything's about 1 inch. I'm just going to keep repeating until I get to the top. Something I like to do is twist the elastic within my fingers before I gather the last loop, just because it really helps not snag any hair from the underneath ponytail. So you're creating that tension as you keep winding up the elastic in your fingers before you keep looping it back and forth. I'm just going to finish this top one to have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ponies. And this is what it will look like. Now to create the braid, I'm going to just keep the first 3 ponies down, and I'm going to clip the other ones away. Now I'm going to grab the first ponytail, and I'm going to split it in half. Now I'm going to bring it up and connect it to the 3rd ponytail. I'm going to connect it by gathering it together with an elastic. Now you should see a little loop. This loop I'm going to gently pull. You can always go back and do this, but I like to do it as I'm working. And then if I want the braid to look fuller, then I'll go back and pull it more. So now what I'm going to do is grab the 2nd ponytail, and I'm going to gather it to the 4th ponytail. And I'm going to pull this loop gently. Now I'm gathering the 3rd ponytail to the fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, the third one to the fifth. So you're always skipping one ponytail and gathering it with the one above. And you're just going to keep repeating. You can see the braid starting to take shape. This is a great way to add a braid, especially if you are working with shorter lengths, because since it's gathered into ponytails, you're not going to have all these small layers poking out. It's a really good way to gather and secure it, and your braid's going to stay there all night. Now I'm just going to gather these last two sections together. I'm going to split it and gather. Now you just want to pull until you're happy with the fullness of this braid. Now I'm going to start building the bun up on top. However, I don't feel like she has as much hair as I'd like. So a good way to add more fullness is by adding a little piece of a form. So what I like to do is I like to purchase these donuts, and I like to cut them and just grab enough material and pin it down where you want your bun to sit. So I like it up here, and I'm going to use a bobby pin, and I'm going to weave the bobby pin as I insert it. That way it's nice and secured. Adding these forms in here is also a great way to secure everything. And what I love about this is you add fullness, and the hairstyle is actually pretty comfortable because everything's pinned to the form. So this is going to be my base where I'm going to start building the bun. Before I do that, I'm going to add just a few tape extensions to this interior, and I'm going to use the rest of this hair to cover the tape extensions, and it's also going to cover these splits. You don't need to add the tape extensions, but it's a great way to add dimension and also more fullness if you're working with shorter lengths. If you feel like the length is not long enough to add that high bun, then adding some clip-in extensions or even tape extensions to this interior is going to be a great hack to add more fullness. And what I love about doing the tape extensions is that, like, I'm not sandwiching the hair in there. There's just the adhesive side, and I'm just pressing it on. So it's going to be super easy whenever your guest wants to take down their hair at the end of the night. And I'm going to repeat on the other side. Now that the extensions are put in, I'm going to gather the front sides, and I'm going to use a loop tool to insert this into the interior of the braid. So I'm going to use my Sanvia finishing brush just to polish this a little bit more. And I'm going to bring the hair into the loop, and I'm going to bring the end tip of the loop into the interior of the braid. Now I'm just going to keep holding on to the end of that section and keep polishing until I'm happy where the direction of the hair is. As I'm polishing, I'm also just working with the very edge of the brush so that I'm not digging the bristles super deep in. I just want to gently polish it. Now I'm going to secure this section with a bobby pin just so that it stays in place, and as I insert my bobby pin, I'm going to weave it in and out. And I'm going to repeat on the other side. Before I gather all the side back, I'm going to make sure that I leave a small triangular section for the bang that I'm going to leave down. Again, I'm going to use my loop tool, bring the hair into the loop, and I'm going to bring the hair into the interior of the braid. Make sure that when you stick the end of the loop tool, you're not sticking it into an elastic, because that might make it a little bit difficult for the tool to come through. Now both of the sides are gathered, and now you have this remaining long hair. This is the hair that you're now going to start putting up and pinning into the cushion. So now it's up to you how you want this bun to sit. I'm just going to keep working with the hair and use the hair to cover up the cushion. And I'm just going to keep wrapping the hair around it. And I'm going to use open pins to secure everything, because I feel like open pins are very forgiving. If you're not happy with where it's pinned, then it's super easy for you to just pull it out. And they are very secure, especially when you're working with the cushion form. So I'm going to curl this a little bit just to give it some body. I'm curling in these straight pieces with my sleeker iron. I'm just going to wrap it around and pull towards me. Now I'm going to go back and start to pin everything. Now that the hair is curled, I feel like it's easier to start wrapping the bun around the form, and I'm just gonna keep playing around with it until I'm happy with the shape and until I see that the form is completely covered. And you can have fun with this. It's up to you how full you want the bun. Do you want any pieces that hang, or do you want it more clean and everything pinned up? It's totally up to you. Always make sure you check for balance. Again, I'm just gonna keep going until I am happy with the shape. Okay, now that her bun is done, I'm going to curl her bangs. I'm just going to curl it by using my sleeker iron. I'm gonna start by sectioning diagonal parts, and I'm just going to curl away from her face. I'm just gonna pull it down a little bit if it's a little too tight. I'm gonna do that one more time. Now I'm just going to spray it a little bit with texture spray. And I'm going to brush out the curls. You can back comb a little bit if you need some more volume. I'm just gonna connect the curls together and spray this down. And she's all done. Let's get a full look. Let's turn her around. I like how smooth this is. You don't see any of the splits of the ponytail, and the braid looks really full, and it was super simple to do. I really hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.